All right, so welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to get into the variety of topics, but this first topic, we're going to talk about this Model 3 refresh that we've been talking about for at least 2 days now. It seems like it is a confirmed leak, 100% real, not a Photoshop, not fake, not made up at all. It is confirmed, and we'll go through some of the posts in which it looks like it actually is a real Model 3 refresh, which pretty exciting because they're going in a very aggressive design language. So we'll go through it, and plus so there's some new renderings, new I guess potential design concepts of what this Model 3 Roadster like refresh might actually be, but we'll get into it. And of course a variety of topics, but before we do that, this is where I usually run my intro. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And shout out to my latest Patreon members. We've got John Cook from 2 days ago, so thank you for joining. If you want to check out the Patreon, or this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link, down below in the description there's a Patreon link where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, so definitely check it out if you are interested. So let us get into this. First, I was taking a look at the Model 3 inventory. It's unfortunate that this Model 3 Highland prototype got leaked, because it's what's called a Osborne effect, basically where you're stealing sales or stealing demand from what could be coming up, because there's probably a lot of people out there right now that either are on the fence of buying a Model 3 or have a Model 3 order that might just be like, I'll just wait until September or when this new Model 3 comes out. I mean, I certainly would be. I would definitely be double thinking on whether I would want to buy a Model 3 right now. And so Model 3 inventory is definitely still a little bit up there. There's 492 Model 3s available in the United States for sale that are brand new. But let us get into it. This is what you came for. This is what you want to see. This is the confirmation that it seems like we have received. Tesla Scope on Twitter, quote, "We received permission to share this other portion of our conversations regarding Tesla Project Highland Model 3. These are dated March 1st. Checkmark emoji. We can confidently confirm that these photos shared across social media this week are of a prototype build of the vehicle Alpha." So here's a screenshot of what seems like a text message between Tesla Scope and a Tesla employee. "I have seen the new Model 3. It has Model S style headlights and a smooth bumper on the edges where the fog light is, smoother too on the intake. They're also immediately switching away from in-house seats." So it looks like Tesla makes their seats in-house right now, and they're potentially going to be switching to a different vendor. So if you like the Tesla seats right now, unfortunately it looks like it's going to be switching to a different company. So these text message, or this screenshot, was dated March 1st. So this was, a while, or at least a month and a half ago, before the Model S prototype refresh was actually spotted, which was a few days ago. So you can see they were describing this Model 3 prototype, at least with their words. And so we can confidently confirm, at least from this screenshot and this text message or this Twitter post, that the new Model 3 refresh is this one right here. So this will be interesting because we're pretty early, I would say. It's only April, and this vehicle, or the Model 3 refresh, is supposed to be released in September of this year. So here's another tweet from Tesla Chan. We've got prototype build of the vehicle Alpha. The Model 3 vehicle unveiled this week in the photos is officially confirmed as Highland Project Prototype Alpha 3.1. The final vehicle design is subject to change, and prototype build of the vehicle Alpha. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you surprised that this is real? Are you sad that it's not, or that it is? Or kind of, what are your thoughts? I mean, there's been a little bit of buzz back and forth on whether people like this design. I certainly like the design. I really think it is very aggressive. And here's another screenshot, or at least some photos to kind of round out the Project Model 3 Highland. It seems like someone that was able to spot one in some sort of parking lot. This does look like a Sentry mode type of Tesla camera type of footage, but you can see it is the same exact style headlight as shown covered up in this, whatever version this is. And this is, of course, you can see this is the one that was leaked the other day. So we can try and assume that it is the same design language on both the wrapped one and then the one that was pulled up under wraps. So I mean, Tesla's probably not happy that this someone pulled the covers off of this Model 3 refresh project Highland Alpha and showed it to the world, basically, because it will have an effect 100% on Model 3 sales. Maybe Model 3 will start to pile up on inventory even more. But the one thing that if this does hurt demand, that Tesla will have to they'll have to do something, right? Their hand will be forced maybe a little bit earlier than they were likely going to, maybe with some sort of price drop or price incentives. So if you're looking to buy a Model 3, then it might be a great time to buy one for the current version. If you don't care for any of the refresh Highland or anything like that, then it might be a good time in these next few months. But the one thing that's really interesting that a lot of people have spotted out with this new Model 3 refresh is the interior dash. It has like a slight little hump similar to the Model S and the Model X. So is a new Model 3 going to have some sort of screen behind the steering wheel? I mean, that would be pretty nice, because it's always a little bit more convenient to have more screens than just one in a Tesla vehicle, and so that would be 100% really nice. But here's the last render that we saw today. Here's a design from Not a Tesla app. They posted this, and this is just another render added to all the other renders. You can see here that they smoothed out the front bumper, new headlights and everything like that, and this would be really nice. I would say it's very Roadster like, very Model S like, and you know, maybe it's gonna be coming out this year, maybe not. But let me know what you're thinking. Are you going to put off buying a Model 3? Are you upset that you just bought a Model 3, or what is your status? What's your status on the Model 3 refresh, and when do you think it is actually going to come out? But we're going to jump into our next topic. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description, there's a Patreon link where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me, where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources I use to get the best possible deal at the best financing rate, including credit unions and banks on that list that all have interest rates lower than Tesla financing, lower than Tesla's 5.59%. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. And as an added bonus, I respond to all DMs in the Patreon app, direct messages. So you can ask me any questions one-on-one about your situation with buying a Tesla, selling it, or even financing it. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description. If you're just joining in, welcome. Thank you for joining on today's stream. We've got a lot of topics today. This next one is it's definitely pretty interesting. You know, I saw a funny headline, and so I just had to save it and talk about it. So let me know what your thoughts are. But in this next topic, it seems like Tesla drivers are twice as likely to get a date on Tinder, reveals experiment. So we'll take a look at it. Always a funny headline, a spicy headline. So we'll take a look at it and see exactly what they were talking about. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it. So definitely check it out. Hit that subscribe if you're interested. And so let us take a look at this. Shout out to Tesla North. Tesla drivers twice as likely to get a date on Tinder, reveals experiment. And so what they did, I was reading through this very briefly. This was actually done with from a used car dealership called Big Motoring World in the UK. So props to them, because this was a very good marketing strategy, I guess, because now everybody that sees this article is going to know about Big Motoring World, a used car dealership in UK. What they did was they took one of their employees, they made two different Tinder profiles, one of course with him, the person named Jay, with a Tesla in some of the photos, and the other one without a Tesla in some of the photos. And the goal was to get as many matches as possible leading up to Valentine's Day, with 500 daily swipes for each per profile. The results showed that the profile with the EV photo, the Tesla photo, received 61 matches compared to 25 matches on the other profile. And so the experiment aimed to test if electric vehicles are cool, or notably Teslas. But I really feel like that's not necessarily a big revelation, right? We already know that Tesla vehicles are cool and they have good brand value. But definitely interesting to see that, of course, if you put a Tesla vehicle in your dating profile, that you'll get almost twice twice as many matches. But I mean, there's a lot to unpack here, right? Like we all know that, or most of us know that on Tinder and all these different social media sites, there's a lot of bots and fake people at the end of the day. So I'm wondering how much of this was just people just trying to scam Jay, or do something with it. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. A quick segment on take it for whatever it's worth, but pretty funny that someone was able to try and do this. But I feel like you can do this with any nice car, I guess, at the end of the day, not just a Tesla or electric vehicle. The good test would be to put like a Nissan Leaf or like a Chevy Bolt in the picture and see if that attracted more clicks or anything like that. Or I guess you could do this with any brand, any sort of model, make, or whatever, and see which brand would get the most matchbacks in a social experiment. That's a pretty good, interesting idea, actually. But yeah, definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what you're thinking about this, or let me know what your thoughts on it. We're going to jump into our next topic. But before we do that, this video is sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is the Patreon link, so definitely check it out if you're interested. But pretty funny, right? If you're just joining in, welcome. Thank you. Tesla, it seems like the Model 3 leaked is confirmed as the Model 3 Project Highland. So this is a iteration of it. It's maybe one of the first prototypes that are out with the alpha build, and so maybe it'll look something like that. But usually when it gets to this level, it's probably not going to have that many more changes till actual release. So it could be pretty cool. Silver Model 3 mock-up is sick. Yeah, this looks nice. If this comes out in this form, especially with the front bumper like that in a bi-tone color or a different color black tone like that, that would be pretty nice at the end of the day. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. In our next topic, we're going to talk about the problem with these Tesla price cuts and why too many of them, or too much of them, is going to have adverse or negative effects with the brand, consumer psychology, and much more. So we'll talk about it, because Tesla's, they've been doing this for a while now, at least the past 6 months, across the world in different markets with price cuts. And so it's going to have an effect, maybe not initially, or I mean, it definitely will have an effect initially with sales ramping up, but long-term effects, I guess it's to be discovered. So let me know what you thoughts about this. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best behind Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. So let us take a look at this. Shout out to James Cat, Tesla Fan Mountain on Twitter. This person, I'm gonna assume it's a he. Yeah, James. I really feel like he's one of the only people that are against the Tesla price cuts in a sea of everybody kind of commending Tesla for a bunch of these price cuts. But he went on a Twitter thread, a 9-part, 12-part Twitter thread, 15-part Twitter, 16-part Twitter thread, and where he went on a bunch of things about why Tesla price cuts, while it might be a good short-term strategy, might not necessarily be a good long-term strategy, and why advertising and things like advertising and media awareness might be a lot better. So I pretty much read all through this and I summed it up, and I'm going to sum it up for you all. But definitely check out James Cat, and shout out to James Cat for posting his thoughts on this, because there's definitely not this viewpoint on Twitter that, from what I've seen, and really he's kind of just leading the charge on it. But the first thing is, constant price cuts may lead to diminishing returns, as consumers may delay their purchases, putting pressure on Tesla's inventory, which may then result in future price cuts, creating a positive feedback loop. I mean, I 100% agree with that. I see it a lot with all of your comments, with all of you coming into the live stream. You keep asking like, oh, price cut just happened, do you think another one's coming? Or I just bought one, or I just ordered one, do you think another price cut's coming? And so now I feel like people with orders, people that just bought one, are conditioned to Tesla's strategy, especially if you watch this channel, and especially if you follow any sort of Twitter or any sort of social media on Tesla. You just see constantly, at least in the past like 6 months, just price cuts, incentives, and price cuts. And so this is going to have an effect, an adverse effect, potentially on consumer psychology. And so the number 2 point that pretty much summed up for this was, constant price cuts attract attention to price rather than the value of the product, which may dilute brand equity. And I 100% agree with that, because now with price cuts, we just literally focus on how much it costs. I mean, as a consumer, we pretty much already do that, but instead of focusing on Tesla's brand value and all the different aspects like lower maintenance, driving an electric vehicle, saving money on that, the technology and all those things play into an effect of buying a Tesla. The third point that I was able to sum up from this was constant price cuts may reduce the residual value of Tesla's fleet and put its customer loyalty at risk. Yes, we're seeing that already right now when Tesla did that massive price cut in January by $13,000. Like, that has an effect on the insurance, like the value of your vehicles, like your assets, not your assets, but when you insure your Tesla, and let's say in a for whatever accident it gets into some sort of fender bender, and you potentially will lose even more money on your Tesla because it is now into some sort of accident and is more depreciated than before. I mean, vehicles already are a depreciating asset, and so the value of a vehicle, even if Tesla price cuts it, it's just gonna accelerate it even more. But we're gonna certainly get into a cycle, or we're gonna get back to where when you drive off a lot, you're gonna lose 20-30% of the vehicle, and within 4 to 5 years, you're gonna definitely lose 50% of the vehicle. I mean, I see comments all the time where people just bought their Tesla and they're upset now that their vehicle has lost money, but that's kind of just how it was before all of the past couple of years. And so you're supposed to lose money on your vehicles. You're not necessarily supposed to make any sort of profit after buying your vehicle. So the fourth point that James had, and kind of in where they should position to a more different strategy, is that Tesla should focus on educating customers about the benefits of electric vehicles rather than constantly reducing prices. This would cement Tesla's leadership and help it attract more customers. And so what James, I think, is really pointing at is that Tesla should do more advertising and not necessarily social media advertising, because they have ramped up a lot more social media posts on Twitter, maybe Instagram, and maybe YouTube with video explainers, but there really has never been a Tesla TV commercial. And I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Social media is probably the next wave of advertising that is more effective, or the current wave of advertising that's more effective versus TV and radio and things like that. But I don't think it wouldn't hurt to have some sort of commercial on television. But at the same time, a lot of other legacy automotive, other brands do advertise on Tesla, do advertise on electric vehicle anyways. And so there could be a case in which, because those other brands do advertising for Tesla, then it will just do advertising for their electric vehicles, it would lift up Tesla's search history no matter what, because that's like the biggest name compared with an electric vehicle. And the last point is Tesla should consider spending a few $1 million on advertising to increase demand instead of constantly cutting prices, which may have a long-term financial cost. And so I kind of agree with that. Like, if they were to invest into a television that could get more eyeballs onto it, that it could start more people lower down in the funnel, like younger buyers that see the brand, that want to buy it, that want to know about their features. But I feel like Tesla as a brand name is pretty much worldwide known and has a great awareness on it. So I think it's more so a fact of affordability at the end of the day, which Elon has came out recently saying that, responding to that. So we'll talk about it, but definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Thank you to James Cat or Tesla Fan Mountain for posting this and being a voice on the other side, because there's a lot of people that love price cuts, but it does have adverse effects, especially with customer loyalty and brand trust, I guess, at the end of the day, which is not good from what I think. But we're going to jump into our next topic. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel, so definitely check it out if you're interested. All right, thanks for coming in. Welcome everyone. It seems like the Tesla Model 3 prototype leaked images have been confirmed. They are a prototype of the Model 3 project Highland Model 3. And that is the version type alpha, I guess. Of course, alpha for the A, which is the first prototype out there. Shout out to Tesla Scope for posting their screenshot regarding it, and it seems like it is 100% confirmed to be a Model 3 at the moment prototype. So definitely cool. I mean, this means that this design, this language, this headlights, the Model S, Model Roadster type of vehicle is definitely coming out. So I wonder if they just borrowed the design from the Roadster, and Roadster's not coming out anymore, because the one thing that was not shown on the investor deck or investor day deck was the Roadster. And so, but of course, I mean, that's not necessarily a sustainable type of vehicle. So it's just they were just doing it just for the speed aspect and stuff like that. But I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, they're basically taking their one of their better designs and throwing it onto their entry level volume Model 3 at the end of the day. So definitely pretty nice. I mean, we're gonna see a lot of exciting sales for the Model 3 at the end of the day because of this. You can see right here, this is a Roadster. I mean, you can see there's a lot of borrowed design language from the Roadster going now to the Model 3, which I mean, we'll see. I mean, I don't even know. Potentially, it's rumored to come out this year in September or something around there. But I mean, that definitely is some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it are. Water break. In this next topic, it seems like Elon has responded to the price war, the EV price war, with his thoughts on it. And so we just talked about how these price cuts, these multiple freaking price cuts, could have an adverse effect on the brand with brand value, loyalty, and all these things, and how advertising might be a better aspect. But it seems like Elon now has responded to these price cuts or even the EV price war. So we will definitely take a look at it, and we'll give you my thoughts. But I want to know what you're thinking as well. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best behind Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, where you can get the best Tesla buying guide with all the interest and credit union rates that have better the rates than Tesla financing. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. All right, so let's get into this. Shout out to Tom Randall, TSR Randall on Twitter. Tesla has started a price war between battery and internal combustion engine cars, and it's just getting started. So you can see, of course, this is the graph that we took a look at yesterday. It's labeled Elon's price war, and what this is looking at is that the Model Y is basically now a better price, or if you factor in the tax credit, the $7,500 federal tax credit, a better price than the average price of a new car sold in the United States last month, which was around $47,000 to $48,000, and the Model Y all-wheel drive standard range is priced at $49,990, and if after you factor in the $7,500 federal tax credit, it's brought down to like $43,000, $42,000. And so there's a lot of tweets on here, a lot of responses, but if you take a look at it, Elon actually just responded to it somewhere down here somewhere, and he actually said that it's not necessarily a price war, but he is just trying to lower the economies of sale, to lower affordability, so that more people can purchase the vehicle. Okay, I thought I had it here, but I guess it's maybe deleted already. But basically saying that Elon, wants more people to purchase these vehicles. He doesn't necessarily want more people to actually... He doesn't want to say put it into a EV price war type of aspect. He just wants more people to purchase the vehicles at the end of the day, so that it's more affordable, because Tesla doesn't necessarily have a brand issue. It just has more of an affordability issue in Elon's eyes. But I can't seem to find the comment anymore. It seems like he must have deleted it, or at least I can't find it anymore. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. I mean, we, of course, as a Tesla shareholder, we want more people to purchase these vehicles, but at the end of the day, brand value, holding prices at a certain point and not just cutting prices, is not necessarily a good move either, unless Tesla is just going to continue to keep dropping prices and lowering prices. If it keeps going up and then down and then up and then down, it's going to create this weird environment in which consumers are going to get conditioned to the fact about waiting for Tesla price drops, and not necessarily wanting to wait it out for or they would want to wait it out for the best potential price. But let's see if I thought I liked it somewhere. Let's see. let's see here. I guess he must have deleted. Here we go. Tom, we are not starting a price war. We're just lowering prices to enable affordability at scale. So, of course, Elon, just like most Tesla executives at the end of the day, want more volume and not necessarily profit. And so they want to eat up all the market share, especially when they've got a big number to sell this year with 1.8 million vehicles globally. So pricing is the only limiting factor probably at the end of the day in which people will either buy the car or not buy the car, especially with interest rates rising at a fast pace. And Tesla interest rates are probably what, 5.59% at the last time we took a look at it. And so affordability is a huge thing, because any Tesla loan, Model 3 or Model Y, if you were to buy it and finance it, you're looking anywhere from $700, $800 a month at a minimum. For most Model Ys, for sure. Model 3s, you can maybe get down to like $650 a month. But at the end of the day, it is a lot of money to buy these vehicles, at least a lot of upfront costs. But there's other ways to make it worth it in terms of maintenance, gas versus no gas versus a bunch of other things at the end of the day. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Let me know what you're thinking. We're going to jump into our next topic, and of course the live stream chat, because that's the benefit of the live stream, right? You can ask anything you want, ask any sort of question, and then we will respond to it. But before we do that, let's this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is the Patreon link where you can support the channel, so definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. We got one last topic, but if you're just joining in, welcome. It seems like the Model 3 project Highland alpha prototype is confirmed, at least from Tesla Scope on Twitter, and this is a confirmed real photo and not a fake one, not any sort of Photoshop business or anything like that. It is real, and this will be this is a version of what the Model 3 project Highland prototype build alpha will actually be, and fingers crossed later this year, right? It could be later this year, or it could be, I think it's going to be late this year, but it really depends, because Tesla Model 3 inventory is starting to increase at a fast pace. There's 492 Model 3s available right now, and so either Tesla's going to have to do some big price cuts to clear out all existing inventory before this new one comes out, because if this new one comes out, it is definitely going to be very in demand, especially if it comes out at a lower price, or the current price. It is very striking and aggressive, basically a roadster for a Model 3 price. It'd be pretty interesting if they came out with a coupe version as well. I mean, they probably won't, but that'd be cool, right? Like a baby roadster. Or what if they come out with a roadster that's 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds in a Model 3 type of build instead of whatever this is. Unless this was a Model 3 this whole time. What if this was the Model 3 this whole time and they pivoted? They said we can't afford to make a roadster anymore, but let's change it to a Model 3. Some cost savings right there, right? But in this next topic, there are actually 7 factors to how Tesla calculates your EV battery range and how much it is actually left. And this is actually pretty surprising to me. So we'll take a look at it, and just a little bit more of a PSA, a little bit of an awareness piece for everybody out there that bought a Tesla or is about to buy a Tesla. And so we'll definitely take a look at it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on your Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to support the channel, but more on that later. All right, so let us take a look at this. First, we'll take a look at this video, which I thought is pretty funny. So of course, it's a TikTok. When you first buy your Tesla, you're very range anxiety driven. So you can see right here, when you first buy your Tesla in the bottom. All right, so we're at a 84% battery. We're just going to go to a supercharger really quick because you always want to top up. You're not necessarily, you're worried a lot about how much battery versus how many miles. And a good rule of thumb actually is about each percentage point on Model 3 and Model Y is about 2 to 3 miles of range. So if you want to do the quick math, if you don't have the if you don't have it set to if you have it set to percentage, or you had it set to battery distance. I used to have it on battery distance the whole time, but now I've switched to percentage because it's a little bit more easier for me to see how much percentage is left with supercharging and things like that. But of course, in this TikTok or this short video from Ryan J. Cohen on Twitter, they initially, when you first buy your Tesla, you're always range anxious, I guess, always pulling in superchargers, always pulling in chargers, no matter what state of charge you're at, even if it's like 80-90%. And so this is initially when you first buy your Tesla, and then 6 months later, after you're getting used to it, after you are used to the buying a Tesla vehicle, you there's a joke, the babe or the significant other says, babe, it's only going to arrive with 2%, and of course Ryan says, oh, we got it, we'll be fine, because you're used to it, you know exactly how to drive, you know how much range and miles you'll take to actually get there. And so he posted this on Twitter, and Tesla Europe actually responded. So we can see Tesla is trying a lot on social media to be very active, to build even more awareness on all the different factors of their Tesla vehicles and like all the different features. We saw the maintenance post yesterday, which is, we've never seen that before, which is great for Tesla, trying to educate awareness on how, you know, Teslas can save you money based upon a different other factors. But here it is. So here's a tweet from Tesla Europe saying all the different 7 different factors that Teslas use to calculate battery percentage left on arrival. Tesla navigation takes into account crosswind, headwinds, humidity and temperature, predicted speed, HVAC use, elevation changes, route and distance. So the TLDR is your Tesla will do the math for you, so you don't have to. Big brain battery emoji. So definitely some cool stuff. I mean, I had not realized that Tesla takes in all these different factors, these 7 factors, into predicting what battery state of charge you'll actually arrive in. And so I've seen it different screens. You've probably seen it yourself when you've in your Tesla, the drive screen, and how you can see all the different factors in which it takes into how much battery consumption you actually use. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. So shout out to Tesla Europe for posting this and trying to educate more on all the cool features at the end of the day that Teslas have with their technology, their EV technology, and of course their intuitiveness with all their different things. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. And if you just bought a brand new Tesla, or if you're on the cusp of ordering one, check out our part accessory partners down below in the description with various discount codes. We've got Tamai, Jawa, 3D Mats USA, a bunch of different ones. So check it out, link down below in the description, as well as a bunch of other links if you're interested in supporting. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. We're going to jump into the live stream comments, but before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me, where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources I use to get the best possible deal at the best financing rate, including a list of credit unions and banks that all have interest rates lower than Tesla financing, lower than Tesla's 5.59%. So definitely check it out, link down below in the description. And as an added bonus, I respond to all Patreon DMs or direct messages one-on-one with any questions that you have regarding buying, selling, or even financing. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description. All right, if you're just joining in, yes, the prototype Model 3 Highland pictures have been confirmed, and it seems like this is actually it. So definitely some cool stuff. Silver Mockup 3 is sick. Yeah, definitely. Mars Strategies, thanks for coming in. Compare the significant changes from the old and new one. Headlights look amazing. Yes, 100%. Yeah, if this actually comes out in this exact form, maybe a few tweaks are here and there. Like if this one if it comes out like this, it would be very nice. Let's see. ROG, thanks for coming in. Dennis, now the confirmed Highland Model 3 is interesting indeed. No more bug eyes, right? I would wait for the new version for sure. Yes, it will 100% have an effect on people. I mean, not 100%, right? Like, well, no, it will have 100%, but of the people that are waiting to buy a Model 3, probably not 100% will push off until the new Highland. There's going to be people that need a car at the end of the day. And so there's going to be a percentage that will buy now, and then there will be a percentage that will just wait and buy later on. Predicted speed. I wonder how what they use to calculate the speed that you will travel, especially since their person is a new Tesla owner. Yeah, it probably looks at historical data, or maybe takes some sort of average, but yeah, or maybe it looks at speed limit, highway data traffic as well. So who knows, but at the end of the day, but definitely cool that Tesla uses a lot of different factors at the end of the day to calculate percentage battery on arrival. And I don't know if you all have messed with the drive screen. It tries to predict it, but then for me at least, maybe because I drive a little bit too fast, it's always a little bit off, or at least about 8 to 10% off at the end of the day. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what you're thinking. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching. Definitely hit that like button. Definitely hit that subscribe, and definitely check out all the links down below in the description if you want to support the channel. And thanks for all coming in. Let's go a couple more comments. I wonder if the performance specs will be improved on the models of the Highland. I think so. Yeah, it's always going to be more efficient, more faster, more weight effective, weight efficient at the end of the day. So it will be probably maybe like, I mean, I don't know if they'll make it that much more faster. The Model 3 performance is already pretty fast, but they could probably get it into the 2's consistency. If I'm making a 400-mile drive and it's on J1772 chargers on the way every 160, I'm okay with the adapter that comes with the Tesla, or should I get the 650-mile route that only has Tesla chargers along the whole way? Oh, J1772, I don't know if I would rely on that for that long of a drive. I think you would want, I mean, are you to do that drive on level 2? I don't know if I would do that. You would need to do superchargers the whole way, or level 3 EV Go, Electrify America, CCS. If that's what you're talking about, then yes, but I don't know if I would do J1772 chargers the whole way. That's a supercharger level 3 route 100%, or you're gonna get stuck. RLG, yes, thank you. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for hitting the like button, and I'll see you guys in the